Good evening. We want to start off by wishing a Mazal Tov to the Sabag family and the birth of the granddaughter, Mazal Tov. Continuing with the classes on guarding our eyes, and this evening's topic is going to some of us come out as a shocker, as others come out as, when you hear it, the Davar Pashut, something quite simple. The Midrash, very interesting Midrash. It's really on Parashat Bereshit. However, it's found in the Tanchuma in Parashat Vayeshev. Very interesting. I'll quote you the Midrash, a beautiful Midrash. It says as follows. Bore, come and see, when God decided to now create Chava, which body part of Adam HaRishon should he create her from? Amar, if I create her from the head, if I take a piece of Adam's head to create Chava, she's going to be a haughty individual. She's going to be very, very arrogant. Sorry.
Arrogant.
Gava. If I'm going to create her from the eye, let's say take one of Adam's eyes, God says, Sakranit. She's going to be very curious.
More than what she is.
Mina pe, if I create her from Adam's mouth, tie patpetanit. She's going to be a talker, a yapper.
So why creating her to make it?
Mina ozen, if I'm going to create her from Adam's ear, tie tzaitanit. She's going to be going and wanting to listen to everything that everyone has to say. Mine Adayin, if I create her from Adam's hands, she's going to be stealing. Tia gonevet. Mine Raglayim, if I create her from Adam's legs, imagine, let's say, a thigh, something to do with the legs. Tia pardanit. She's going to be always going and leaving and escaping and walking around. Me'asa kadosh baruch hu, what did God do? Listen to this. Bira minatzela. She took one of Adam's ribs, mimakom tsanua, from a modest, from a hidden place, so that she should be modest, so that she should be the commander of the home, the one who raises the children. We're not going to go into the whole Midrash, but the Midrash answers, even though HaKadosh Baruch Hu created Chava from a rib of Adam, unfortunately, she still has not saved herself from these blemishes. Now, it doesn't say, the Midrash was very specific, it didn't say that she has these blemishes, chas v'shalom, but she's not saved from them. By the way, as men, we're not saved from them either. We're laughing. But we're not saved from them either. What's the point of this Midrash, you may ask? The point of this Midrash is, as the Gemara says, and I'll quote to you, En yetzer hara sholet ela bema she'einav ro'ot. There could only be temptation, there could only be evil inclination on whatever a person sees. The sight promotes chemda and ta'ava, desire, lust, and therefore the Talmud says only what a person sees could they fall on, could they stumble in. The Ravad explains that during war, one of the most important stages in war to try to maintain is to make sure that the enemies are out. As soon as they, imagine if you're in a fortified city or in a home or whatever, as soon as they've entered in, half the battle is lost. You always want to keep the bad guys out. And therefore, he says, the same thing is with ourselves, as long as we keep them out. How do you keep them out? What is the strongest of all of our senses? It's sight. You can hear something as far as you can hear. You can smell something only closer. You could scream and speak. You could only touch whatever's in within 2-3 feet, depending on how long your arms are. But you could see something very, very far away. And the Ravad says, if you keep it out, if you don't let it enter, that's when you have the upper hand. That's when you're able to control the Yetzer Hara. It's a very, very strong concept. He says, make yourself used to looking at what's yours and not others.
Amen.
I'll get back on that in a moment. The Chovat HaLevavot says, use your sight to look at the beauty of nature, to look at the beauty of what God has created around you. All jokes aside, I don't like to make jokes, especially on this topic, but many say, Lo aleinu, that a woman is God's nature. I want to enjoy. Chas v'shalom. Don't let that warped mentality enter your mind. You save that for your wife. Seriously.
Amen.
Looking around will ruin the relationship that you have with your wife. It will destroy it. Just like you, there's someone that's always taller. There's always someone that has a nicer nose. There's always someone that's smarter. There's always someone richer. There's always someone with more muscles. There's always. Same thing with women. There's always someone else. That's the importance, that's the purity of guarding our eyes completely and reserving it specifically for our spouses. And we, as men, have a much harder job because it's against our nature. But if one wants to have that gift and that promise and that blessing, guard one's eyes. I'll end off with the Pilei Yoetz, which will give us to a whole new outlook on life. The Pilei Yoetz says that we understand that sight is the beginning of all problems. He says very often we don't look for something bad. We don't look to see something which is inappropriate. We're just looking out of curiosity. And just out of just always being on the lookout for something, you're bound to lay your eyes on something not proper. And therefore, he says, and even the other Baalei Mussar say, train yourself to not look, even when you know nothing could be wrong. And I'll give you a very big example. Let's say you're sitting right over here in the front. You're facing east. And there's a whole commotion in the back. We've spoken about this before. There's a whole commotion in the back. Let's say someone tripped. Someone dropped something. By you turning around, in effect you know, whether you or no one else does, but everyone's really turning around and looking at that individual. That individual can become embarrassed. Now what could possibly be there that you shouldn't look at? Nothing. We're all men in here. We're here to pray. There could be no inappropriate image in back. But the very nature that we have of curiosity, even in such a case, will promote curiosity by other places and other times where it's not supposed to be. If you understand the concept, it's a very, very strong concept of not being curious. Walking down the street, nighttime, you're walking down and your neighbor's blinds are open and their lights are on. What business, we're not talking even a bedroom, we're talking just the salon. What business do we have looking through the window? I'll ask you better. What could you possibly see over there that it will make your day? What could you possibly see? Nothing. And therefore we have to train ourselves that the curiosity killed the cat. Curiosity will kill our lives. You might be living, but it's a killjoy. It will ruin the relationship between you and your wife. And it's very important that we try to overcome the curiosity, even in a permitted way. Like something happens at the back, and not everyone turn around. It's curiosity, it's plain curiosity. Try to focus in places where it's not so hard, and then let that strength of that trait fill over to where it's harder for us. Bezat Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will bless us to be strong. Amen. Amen.